Yeah, when we do the little finger.
I'm doing the video tip right now. Okay. It's not live, but I'm doing the video tip. Ahí vienen. Here comes the children. Bienvenidos. Bienvenidos, amigos. Hola.
Hi,
Hello.
hola.
Hi, hola.
Welcome to Friendship Park.
Bienvenidos, amigos.
You know how we say hi? Just like this, with your little pinky finger.
See my finger down here? Yeah, that's how we say hi.
That's how we say hi. Can I get your little pinky?
With your little pinky?
With your little pinky?
And touch my little pinky. That's how we say hi.
Hey, Cristian.
That's how we say hi.
¿Paulina no ha estado? ¿No está Paulina?
Sí, Cristian.
¿Dónde están?
Aquí está.
Cristian.
Hola hermano, ¿cómo estamos?
Bien, gracias.
¿Está
¿Tú qué
Paulina
tal?
por ahí?
Aquí anda, aquí anda, aquí anda.
Hola,
¿qué
hola,
tal?
¿cómo estás?
Aquí estamos.
Pues yo creo que van a hablar. Hola compañeros, ¿cómo están? Vi la presentación de tu libro, increíble.
Muchísimas gracias.
Y yo creo que es importante pues que nos ayudes un poco con la traducción. Si quieres yo de este lado y tú de aquel lado, ¿te parece?
Entonces, cuando él hable
Tú le
español, ¿tú le traduces?
Yo le traduzco él.
Ah, ok.
¿Sí? ¿Te parece?
Sí. Y cuando
Ahí
él
viene.
hable, yo les
Ajá.
traduzco.
Sí. Entonces te voy a presentar a ti contigo, Paulina. Después con...
Hola.
Hola, Dan.
¿Cómo estás?
Después de que hablen los compañeros haitianos, ¿quién va a hacer de su parte? Robert. ¿Tú vas a hablar, Robert?
Yo hablo.
Y después quieres decir algunas palabras, Dan.
¿Está bien?
Ok. Entonces los compañeros haitianos son dos, ¿verdad?
Solo
Uno,
uno.
Robert y luego
Dan.
Dan. ¿Alguien más? Los compañeros de la casa del migrante no están, ¿verdad?
No.
Yeah. The Porter's Pets and Friends of Friendship Park. Some children. ¿No hay niños? No, ¿verdad? No hay niños.
Si quieres yo puedo hablar del parque.
Ok.
O, puedes mencionar algo si quieres, pero a lo mejor sería mejor enfocarte en Deported Veterans.
Menciona lo de la petición.
Ajá.
Sí, sí.
Paulina. Paulina, te presento al señor.
Very nice to have you here on the board.
My wife.
Hello.
It'd be great by introducing our families there.
And where's Yolanda? Yolanda? Okay.
Paulina, you want to share a few words of who is with you today?
Yes.
So we are Espacio Migrante. We're a community organization of migrants here in Tijuana, and we work with migrants that are trying to go across to the U.S., but also with the Haitian community in Tijuana. There's about 4,000 Haitians living in Tijuana, and they're young people. They also have lots of dreams. They want to continue their education, and they're fighting for their rights. So it's very inspiring for us to be able to speak to you, and we're very happy that you're here. And this is Agustin, Pascal, Domingo, and Jessica.
Hello. They want to say a few words for me? And I can translate for Mr. King.
Sí, mucho gusto. Yo soy Austin Pascal Jubiso.
My name is Austin Pascal.
Yo soy haitiano migrante, crucé como muchos países para llegar acá.
I crossed many countries
Y
to
mi
arrive here. I'm a
historia
Haitian migrant.
es un ejemplo para todos los migrantes,
My story is an
especialmente
example
los
for
jóvenes.
migrants, especially for
Entonces, como ya sabemos, Martin Luther King era alguien muy importante para los negros que pelea mucho para los derechos civiles.
Martin Luther King was a very
Entonces,
important man for black
queríamos
people who were fighting for
como
civil rights.
unas palabras tuyas para ayudarnos a pelear aquí más, porque necesitamos igual como la igualdad y también el derecho de ser humanos, y como nosotros también estamos batallando para estudiar, y también queríamos invitarte a venir para acá para tener más tiempo para comenzar con usted.
I'll respond in just a second. But I want to say something.
What do you want to say?
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Yo soy Yolanda.
Mucho
Hola,
gusto.
Yolanda.
Qué bonita. I can say my grandfather.
Mi abuelo es
Qué bonito.
Mucho gusto, Yolanda.
Hola, Yolanda.
Hola.
Your finger like
Yo soy Austin.
standing for us, right? You have to say that in Spanish. You know how to say that?
Hola.
We of
Yolanda.
course just made a significant statement to observe the 55th anniversary of the March on Washington, where my father delivered his I Have a Dream speech. And our purpose today for coming was to do just some of what you just shared. Our goal is to work with a coalition that creates a climate where there would be no need for walls. Today we have walls which separate us. But ideally, we should live in a world where freedom and justice and equality exist for all humankind, and there would be no need for a wall. Because we would, in a sense, police ourselves. And while we will always probably have law enforcement, a wall to separate us would not be necessary. We'd be able to go back and forth as we once did many years ago. We as a community are far better than the behavior that we're exhibiting at this time. And much of what is heard out of Washington is not totally reflective of what this nation is. This nation is better than it's acting. We're not acting at our best.
Amen.
So part of what I always hope to do is to push us to a higher level, which is what my father and my mother did throughout their lives, and what my wife and I are trying to do, along with our daughter, who is the next generation, is to create the climate for all humanity to be treated in a civil and just way, with civility. All humankind. My dad talked about treating people with dignity and respect. What we see today is not dignified and is not respectful. That will change. How do I know it will change? Because probably over 60 years ago, when my father was in leadership, people thought that segregation walls would never be pushed over, that we would always have a segregated society. But because he rose and used his voice and others, today those barriers are knocked down. And so we are going to continue to work with you and others and anyone in our nation who wants to make sure that all humankind is treated with dignity and respect. Honey, did you want to say?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
More people that wanted to say. Robert, are you around?
Yes, I am.
Okay,
Right here.
Robert, have about 3 minutes, Robert, and then
Sure.
Dan, about 3 minutes. Dan.
Mr. King,
Yes.
first of all, I want to shake your hand. This is the only way we can shake hands, and a big handshake and a hug to you. With an organization of Unified U.S. Deported Veterans, veterans that served in the U.S. military, and most of them, after serving honorably, were discharged. Many of them due to crimes that you could say were committed because of the stress of PTSD, without treatment to be able to integrate them back into the community as productive members of our communities. And we are a group that we truly believe in your dad's words of a dream. Our dream is to be reunited with our families. We were willing to defend the country, the Constitution of the United States with our own blood. Yes. And many of our soldiers did actually give their life for the country. And we welcome you and we appreciate your work. And we just like to ask you, sir, to join us, the African American community and the Latino community, to unite as one to fight that hate and that racism that we are seeing so fiercely attacking our children, our people. We need to stand together and make that change so that our families, our people can live in peace and prosper and be one under God's name. Thank you, sir. We appreciate your visit down here. Thank you. Bless you. God bless you too, sir.
Dan Watman.
Hi. Hello. Thank you so much for coming. I'm a little nervous and inspired. My name's Dan Watman. I'm with the Friends of Friendship Park.
Yes.
And I've been working with the Friends of Friendship Park at this park for the last 10 to 15 years. Trying to promote the idea of people making friends across the border. We've done all kinds of events with that kind of idea, peaceful events to try and get people to come together and make friends. We built a binational garden. It's about 50 yards east of here. And we now have a petition to both governments to create a truly binational park here where there would be no walls and families and people in general could come here and hug and make friends just like any other park. And so I wanted to put a plug in for our petition. It's at friendshippark.org. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Bless you.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions or anything you want to say?
Is there ever a where is the actual crossing?
The crossing part is about 5 miles to the east of us here, and it's the world's busiest crossing. We have about 75,000 people across that board every single day.
Okay. So, are there any children here? Yeah, are there any children?
It's a school day, unfortunately, for folks. So many kids were not able to make it. But many of these folks they border, their families are on the U.S. side of the border. Is that right, Robert? You have family on the U.S. side?
All of my family is back in the U.S. My kids, my grandkids, brothers, sisters, they're all U.S. citizens. Just like many of our veterans, all of their families back in the U.S. Many of our families that have been separated by some of those unjust immigration laws have been torn away from their families. All their family is back home in the U.S., or the majority of them. We believe that we can actually have better security on the border through friendship than through these hate walls that only divide people. We believe that peace is the only answer to the differences between our people, and that together, by caring for each other, we can do away with the evils that separate us.
No question. Absolutely.
And of course, we have the large Haitian community. How many Haitian folks we have living in Tijuana?
Since 2016, about 20,000 Haitians crossed through this border, and their idea was to go to the U.S., but unfortunately, after the Trump administration came into office, they made it a lot harder. So now there's about 4,000 in Tijuana, and these are mostly young people, young families, and they're trying to start all over. They adopted Tijuana as their home now, and they're starting to go to school to fight for their rights, and also face some discrimination and some things that they have to deal with. So that's why it was very.
Say hi to my daughter. I've been here 7 years. And
young writers like Uzi.
He's published a book. Is that right?
Yes. He's just publishing a book in Spanish, but we hope to have it in English pretty soon. And it's about the journey of the Haitians from Brazil to Tijuana. Because they went to Brazil after the earthquake, and then they had to go across 10 borders.
Es como salimos de Haití y fuimos también a Brasil, pero de Brasil hasta acá cruzamos como 10 países caminando. Por ejemplo, pasamos en una selva que se llama Darien Gap entre Panamá y Colombia, ahí que cruzamos como 9 días caminando. Había mucha gente que se murieron por debilidades. Entonces encontramos muchas personas racistas también. Es por eso que mucha gente se quedaron en algunos países sin querer. Y hasta que llegamos aquí en México, y México nos dio una segunda oportunidad para seguir viviendo o trabajando. Es por eso que estamos aquí. También estamos aprovechando este momento para continuar de estudiar, para continuar de cómo de hacer las cosas tan normal que posible.
Get back to normal life.
Wow, that's amazing.
And Paulina's doing amazing work, trying to make sure that folks are re-established in Tijuana from that perilous journey that people embrace.
And there's an open invitation if you ever want to come to this side and meet more of the Haitian community.
That is something we would like to do for sure. For sure.
And maybe an opportunity for another question, Mr. King.
I don't know that I have enough questions right this minute. we should probably.
Yeah. Well, we want to thank you all very much.
Thank you all so
Thank
much.
you, Christian.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for coming across. Hopefully in the very near future.
We'll wait for you,
That'd be
Mr.
great.
King.
Yeah.
Muchas gracias.
Welcome here
God
anytime.
bless you too.
Bye bye.
Adios, Yolanda.
Please help us support the petition to create this into a truly binational park, sir. Thank you. God bless you and your family.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you for
Christian,
coming.
Pedro.
Adios, amigos. Gracias.
Muchísimas gracias.
Good Spanish.
Cuidado con el guión.